Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Entitled Parents Reddit video. Entitled Dad demands I relocate my home office or stop working from home entirely. This happened earlier today. A bit of backstory. My husband and I both work from home with fully remote jobs. We have a 3-bedroom house. One room is our bedroom, one room is my husband's office, and the other room is my office. Other than that, we have a couple bathrooms, a living room, and a kitchen, none of which I care to turn into an office. This is relevant later. Every day, starting about 3:30, a gaggle of children play in the street in front of my house. They live on either end of the street, none of them reside in any of the houses they play in front of. Multiple times I've asked them to keep it down or play elsewhere as they are really loud and distracting. They literally just scream at the top of their lungs sometimes. I don't ask them to move, keep it down every day, just days when they are extra loud. I've also had to ask them on multiple occasions to get out of my yard. I never cuss or berate them, I simply ask them to keep it down in a polite manner. After all, they're just kids. So today I call out the window asking them to keep it down. They moved closer to my house and got even louder. Once again, I asked them to keep it down. This time, Entitled Dad came waddling over, and that's where our story starts. Entitled Dad comes over and rings our doorbell, then proceeds to beat on my door. This isn't the first time he has come to justify his kid's behavior. I refuse to answer the door and speak to him over our doorbell camera. Is there a problem? Yes, sir. I continually have to ask your children to keep it down. We work from home and it is incredibly distracting. Can they play in front of your house instead of mine? I work from home too. Okay, great. So can they play in front of your house so you have to listen to them? Don't you ever speak to my children again or it will be the last thing you do. Okay, I need you to get off my property right now or I'm calling the cops. You better not speak to my children again, you'll regret it. I wouldn't have to if they played in front of your house, so you have to listen to them, not me. Once again, we work from home. It is incredibly distracting when they are screaming at the top of their lungs. You are now trespassing on my property. I've asked you to leave already. Do I need to call the cops? Why don't you go into your office to work there instead? They won't bother you if you aren't here. We are both 100% remote. We don't have an office we can go into. Then you should move your office to the back of your house. We can't do that either. My husband's office is in the back room. This is the only option from my office. Please leave now or I'm calling the cops. I will not warn you again. We live in a relatively narrow 2-story house. There isn't really anywhere further from the road aside from one room my husband uses as his office. We go back and forth with him threatening that if I speak to his kids again, it will be the last thing I do. I assume his little angel children exaggerated their story when they told him I asked them to keep it down or move elsewhere. I demand he leave my property or I'm calling the cops. He then went and stood on the sidewalk, flipping me off, continuing with his threats. Like, who the flip do you think you are demanding I rearrange my house or leave my house to work when the solution is you parent your kids and teach them to be respectful of people's property and to stay out of my yard and keep it down? Not to mention we have a neighborhood park just down the street, way safer than playing in the middle of the street or strangers' yards. Anyhow, just needed to get that off my chest and thought you kind folks might enjoy my tale. Here's an edit. Stop telling me to build a fence. I'm tired of telling you all that my homeowners association rules prohibit that. Also, fences aren't cheap. In addition, for those in the back that seem to think I'm screaming at random kids, reread this part. I don't ask them to move or keep it down every day, just days when they are extra loud. I've also had to ask them on multiple occasions to get out of my yard. I never cuss or berate them. I simply ask them to keep it down in a polite manner. After all, they are just kids. For the awards, to those of you that think I should just deal with this, enjoy your downvotes. I will update again if anything more comes of this. My next course of action will be to check my homeowners association rules and contact them to see if they can help. We are on the fence with sprinklers due to not wanting to spray the various delivery people and the three-legged elderly dog that occasionally rests in our grass mid-walk. The doggo and owner are super sweet and even asked if we were okay with doggo resting here on occasion. Of course we were. How dare you kick me out? I am a naval commander's wife. This story was posted in our local Nextdoor page. Shame on the local indoor playground. I'm a naval commander's wife, new to the area, and have found locals to be courteous and friendly, except for the owner of this business, Rhonda. First, we spent almost $100 to get in. Then, she refused to believe my 2-year-old wasn't aged 4 and asked to see his birth certificate because we are a tall family. Her motivation for asking his age is that they require children age 4 and up to wear a mask at all times. When I explained that 5-year-old who has asthma has a medical exemption from wearing masks, she became confrontational and told me medical exemption be damned, wear the mask or get out. We had literally been indoors for less than 10 minutes, so knowing my child cannot have his breathing restricted by a mask, especially when running and playing, I requested a refund. She began yelling at me that we would not be getting a refund and if we didn't leave, she would call the authorities. I explained that regardless of our financial affluence, $91 for 10 minutes was ludicrous. Her response was, "Don't worry, honey, the first will be here soon enough for you and your trailer trash husband to collect your welfare check." What in the actual hell? How can this Karen run a children's business, and one that does not recognize nor accommodate persons with disabilities? And when did military brass officers become trailer trash? After getting absolutely roasted in the comments, someone shared the business owner's side of the story. In the 6 years I have run a business, I have only asked customers to leave twice. The first time, the person arguing with me backed down and complied with my request regarding our safety rules and policies. Yesterday, though, I had a family of anti-maskers that repeatedly removed their masks, complained when we asked them to put them back on, and then eventually just blatantly refused while at the top of the play structure. My exasperated staff came to me and I went to the adults personally, at the top, and asked them to put on a mask or leave the play area. One guy just blatantly refused. I then said, "If you don't leave the play area to put on a face mask, I'll have to call the police to escort you off." I kid you not, he said, "Go for it," and I did. They did not believe me and hurriedly got their shoes on while I was on the phone, so I canceled my request. But before leaving, the woman yelled at my staff for a good 5 minutes before I intervened. She continued to yell at me and call me various names for 15 minutes about disability and how horrible I was for ruining her family outing. I asked several times for her disability papers, which she never produced, but claimed she offered to show me. She never did. She wanted me to fix the situation and do the right thing, but never explained what she thought I was supposed to do to fix the fact that they were assholes. I tell you what, not a single business enjoys enforcing mask mandates. Just don't be an asshole. Thanks for all the awards. I wasn't expecting this to take off for just sharing a crazy post. This is John from /Bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to be the first to know when the next one drops, subscribe and click on that notifications bell. I would love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one.